What is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. This is Blinkers Off. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Look at you. You're still there. What's going on?
Just don't want to leave, you know? I just don't leave. I love my situation so much that I'm still here. I did. I did close on the house, so that's good. I've been in it for a week now, I think. What is today? Thursday? Yeah, I think it was a week ago. But I have no furniture and I have nothing, and I've lost the screws on my bed, my bed frame, so I have nothing to put together. I'm waiting for those. Obviously, I've got the boys, and so I'm just kind of piecing it all together. It's obviously a much bigger house than I was in, so it looks like I sent you a picture the other night. I was like, look, I've moved in, and it's like it still looks like a brand new house with no one living in it. So, and that's where it's at. If it was just me, I'd be there. I did stay a few nights, but with the boys, I just, we're taking our time. We're easing into it.
Well, it looks beautiful. It's finished, so that's good. That's good. Closed. I like it.
You can tell. I'm done with it. I don't even make my bed, so.
Some people may have told you, hey, you need to get going on that furniture, and so I don't know.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, well, you don't care. But I mean, the way furniture is, especially with like couches and shit, like even if I would have started, a month ago, I still wouldn't have it. So but that's crazy. But I'm in this weekend. I'll probably be there. But yeah, I just can't get away. I just love it here so much. I did have the barbecue place yesterday, so there are perks, to live in here in our old hometown. But come visit me this weekend.
Yeah, you're gonna be there all weekend. I could come visit.
No. I'll be at the new house. I'll be at the new house this weekend, getting stuff ready. Hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed that the bed screws for my bed come in, so I can put that together. It's funny, they say like you're always going to lose something in your movie, and I was like, man, I felt really good about the way the process of getting movers and everything I did, and I was like, I don't think everything was perfect as far as the boxes. There was no damage, and then I'm like, I can't find the one thing that you need, like probably one of the most important things. I need the freaking bed screws. And by the way, Ashley Furniture can go to hell. Like they are not sponsoring today's show, and I hate that store so much. It never seems to fail that they continue to lower the bar in terms of customer service, and it's been a nightmare even trying to figure out someone that would sell me. I was like, I'll pay you anything. Just tell where do I get the damn screws for this thing? And finally I was able to get someone to sell them to me. Yeah, I almost bought a new bed. I'll be totally honest with you.
Yeah, Ashley Furniture is pretty bad. There's no doubt about it. If you order from them, you might have furniture next year. That's usually how they are. So you do always lose something. Usually it's like a pair of flip-flops, something like that. But you lost something pretty important there. Screws to put your bed together. That is pretty important. But you'll get there. You'll get there. I know how it is. We moved in about this time last year, and it does take time to get everything situated, organized, and ready. I think it's taken us about a year. So that's what you got to look forward to.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, if it was just me, and when I don't have my kids, I'm there all the time, and I'm loving it. But with the kids, it's sometimes, it's easier. They just like to, I think we might move in. That or my parents might move in with us when we officially. My kids have gotten so used to this whole Susu and Papa situation at the house. So, anyways, yes, I am still in the basement. Grandma's Boy, Mark, is a great movie. I love Grandma's Boy. Funny, that was an underrated movie because I didn't expect anything from it, and I watched it. It was a long time ago, of course. And I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty funny." Anyways, so yeah, I'm in the basement. Thank you, everybody, joining us, watching this live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Halterman, welcome back. You made an appearance at the Indiana Derby, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, quick trip to Indiana. Left Tuesday evening and got there kind of late. Picked up Ricky at the airport, and yeah, the Indiana Derby yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and go into the best thing I saw today because I have to give a shout out to the people at Indiana. This was a really good experience. One of the best on-track experiences the racing dudes have ever had, in my opinion. Really took care of us. Shout out to Rachel. She is super nice, first class. Got Ricky and I set up. Met Bree Mott for the first time. She's a super nice person over at Stable Duel, so make sure to check them out. Very friendly. Our boy Aaron West was there. It was great. Shout out to Scott Shapiro, Shapper the Capper. He was there. He was good to see him. Hadn't seen him in a while. So it was all in all a really, really good trip. Major shout out to them. And look at this. I got you one of these too. This is what they're giving away. Growlers.
Holy shit.
Are they everybody in this dining room a growler that said Indiana Derby? So I grabbed, I say I stole them, but they were free. But some people didn't bring them or didn't take them with them. So I got 4 of these puppies. So I thought, my God, they gave away a growler. I mean, how cool is that? It reminded me there was a restaurant, and I know you know, Jared, but people listening in our hometown called Bootleggers, and they brewed their own beer, and you could go buy beer, by the growler. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I got these puppies. They gave us away. They gave away a lot of other stuff too. So it was pretty cool.
Did they have something in it when you left, or were they empty?
They were empty.
Okay.
That would have been even better. But yeah, no, they were empty. Like I said, I think honestly, there was this one room, and I think they gave away. There were like hundreds of these. I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty cool.
That's a nice. I mean, because sometimes it's like a hat or some bullshit, but I mean, that's a solid giveaway. Now, it wouldn't be a day at the track without seeing Halterman leave carrying cups or supplies or shirts or whatever he can get his hands on. So I can only imagine whoever spotted Halterman, leaving the track yesterday with growlers. Yeah. I mean, it's just perfect, right?
Yeah, I had 4 of them, and I were carrying them like this, like hooks, So they were banging together,
clicking around. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah,
well, thank you. I can't wait to get mine. So yeah, put some Miller Lite in that and give it to me, please. So appreciate it.
Yeah, you'd be proud of me. I drank Miller Lite all day yesterday. I was just like, it's a long day. I can't hit the hard stuff because I won't make it to the Indiana Derby. So I drank Miller Lite. It was a good buzz all the way through. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I probably had maybe 3 of these full or 2 of these. Well, I don't know. I don't remember.
Hey, you know what? I get shit all the time, but Miller Lite, you can just stay a steady buzz. It tastes good, and as long as you just keep going, it's good. So, but no, the racing was good. It was solid racing. It's kind of funny that you've had, the weekend before Prairie Meadows where we were, obviously Nick's Go made his triumph. Well, I guess that was earlier last weekend, but that was I keep thinking wins, being the Indiana Derby is on the weekend. Okay, so you had Prairie Meadows, you had that last weekend. Of course, you have Indiana Derby, 2 lower level racetracks that really brought it there. And talking about the horse, I'll go into what the best thing I saw today, and that's got to be what we saw from Nick's Go at Prairie Meadows. We said on this podcast last week saying, well, I wonder what he'll do. And this is kind of maybe a retirement match for him, possibly a retirement race. What is he going to do? Is he going to be done after this? Not only is he not done, I mean, shit, if they're not pointing to the Classic after that performance, I get that it was Prairie Meadows. I get it that he faced not anything, but he beat the shit out of the field, came back with a really high number. He looked like himself. 2 turns, never ever not run this horse 2 turns moving forward. I thought I was super impressed by his performance, and I knew he's going to. I mean, we both sat here and thought he was going to win, so it wasn't shocking that he won. But he looked like the beast that we kind of thought he was at one. Well, for a split second after he went to Brad Cox, what we thought he was.
Yeah, he was simply awesome, and I know a lot of people like, he didn't beat anybody. He's pretty Meadows. He has pace set up, all this stuff. That's kind of what he does, even when the races are a little bigger and a little tougher. Though he kind of just gets out in front and dominates, and so it was good to see him do that. For my money, he was more impressive than the winner and the second place finisher over at the Suburban at Belmont. I mean, Max Player, beats Mystic Guy. That they were unimpressive. So listen, I think Knicks Go is back in the conversation, and that's really good. And you're right, it's been strange. Like, Iowa's racing was probably better than anywhere else in the country last week. And this, like, at Indiana, it's like Brad Cox was there. Like, I'm talking the actual, not like an assistant. Brad Cox, Tom Amos, Dallas Stewart, Brett Calhoun. I mean, like, all the trainers were there. They didn't just send assistants. Like, I think Richard Mandela was the only one that wasn't there. And, well, of course, he's not going to be there. That's a long trip for him. But they were all there. So it was weird to be like, wow, there's a lot of people here. Yeah. And it was the same up at Prairie Meadows. That, the trainers were there. So it was crazy.
I mean, what do you – because we've seen it before. We talked about it on the show. It's not like crazy to say, oh, the horse out of the Cornhusker. It is weird to say horse out of the Cornhusker won the Breeders' Cup Classic, which, it happened. But to say that the horse is going to go to the Classic by any stretch of the imagination isn't hard to believe. But there's a lot of talk, where is he go? Should he go to the Classic? Obviously, Brad Cox has got essential quality. We're going to see Mandaloon next week. He's got options. Obviously, Knicks Go is very talented horse. Where are you pointing this horse after that race? Because so Nick says Del Mar Breeders' Cup Mile is 2 turns. I want to say it's 1 turn, isn't it?
2 turns. Yep.
Well, it's 2. What wasn't Catalina Cruiser? Wasn't that? Was
it Churchill.
Dirt Mile?
That was Churchill Downs.
Oh, it was Churchill. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. Okay. Because in my mind, I was thinking Catalina was there, but it wasn't. It was Churchill, because that was obviously 1 turn. Okay, so being the 2-turn situation, are you sticking with the mile?
100%. Yep.
I think you go Classic.
If Brad Cox didn't have the stock that he has, then I would go Classic. But if you can enter essential quality in that race, and he's doing well, I don't think there's any reason to have Knicks Go in it. I would go try to win 2 Breeders' Cup races. Now, if they get to that spot and Knicks Go's like the only horse that he has, or the best horse that he has that has a chance to go 1.25 miles and win the Classic, then yeah. But as long as essential quality is doing well, I think Knicks Go will go to the mile, and I think he's like 3-5 in that race. And listen, there's a reason the horse didn't go to the Suburban. And, they're saying, well, he likes to go around 2 turns, but I don't think this horse really wants 1.25 miles. So I'm going mile.
And Nick says also, and this is where I am, and this is I understand that they may not care really, but it's like, he says, basically since he won the mile last year, it's like if he was going to be done, might as well, do you try to like go out your swan song being a Classic? And that's where I'm at. Is just kind of like, great, you won the mile again. It's like, great. You're 3-5 and you won. It's like, great. To me, get some stones, Brad Cox. Try to run them in the Classic. That's where I would go. But Brad Cox is more of the kind of trainer that he's going to spot his horse where he thinks he's going to win, regardless of the race. And so if he's sitting there with, like you're saying, if essential quality, if he thinks he's doing well, he's going to win the Classic, or he thinks he will, and then thinks Knicks Go can win the Dirt Mile. I mean, I guess that makes more sense. But I'd like to add more pace and into the race, and just add a little more class into the race with Knicks Go.
I get where you're coming from. I don't necessarily disagree. To me, he reminds me a lot of like a Golden Sense, where it's just like the miles where he needs. I think that's just where he's going to excel. But we'll see. Again, I think a lot of it's going to be dependent on what happens. Like again with Cox's other runners, does he have a couple of strong hands for that race? Or if he gets there and it's like, hey, Nick's goes my best shot to win it, we're going to put him in it, and then it's even more so. Well, he's already won the dirt mile anyway, So, and we talk about it a lot. In the grand scheme of the Breeders' Cup, does a dirt mile really matter that much? Not really,
No, exactly. Yeah. If he does go to the Whitney and run, or wherever he ends up, I mean, obviously that tells you a lot where they kind of decide. But if he goes to the Whitney and wins again, I mean, I think you have to go to the Classic at that point, right? I mean, that's got to be the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I that would be interesting. And Mark says I'm anxious to see him against Maxfield in the Whitney. Can Maxfield run him down? And I think that's the major question, right? Because you got a mile and an eighth. You got, Maxfield's going to be way behind him, but can anybody soften him up, and can Maxfield catch him? I mean, I think I don't want to overstate it too much, but that's almost like the race of the year for the older horses so far, if that happens.
Mm-hmm. I just think it'd be fun to see, with a class of horses we have kind of coming in. Well, we were still a bit away, but the horses that are shaping up to run in the Classic with the Maxfields, and of course we saw Mystic Guide falter, Max Player, whatever you want to say. But, even the 3-year-old Central Quality, Hot Rod, put Hot Rod out there with Nick's Go. Like, that sounds like a lot of fun. And definitely sets up a nice race. But I don't know. We'll see. To me personally, I would like to see him run. I don't know. I don't. It just, to me, I'm old, but that's always how I am. I'm always like, run him in the. I mean, it's like, if you got a horse, run him in the Classic. But I'm not a trainer, And they obviously, would Brad go win 3 or 4 Breeders' Cup races last year?
Yeah,
so
3 last year. Or
was it? Good. I mean, was it 4? He won the
Juvenile Breeders' Cup Juvenile
Nick's Go.
Turf. Nick's Go. I think
the
it was
Turf.
Oh no, Monomoy 4.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. So, I mean, he goes and spots his horses to win, right?
Yep.
So I don't necessarily think it's, if he can get out. Yeah. I mean, I think if he can, he's just an interesting horse. I guess let's leave it at that. And I love the fact that when he is running well, he's a fun horse to watch, because I think he's got a lot of, a horse that we're saying she's running the mile. He also won, the Pegasus at a mile and 1/8. We're talking about should he run the Classic. Like, that's a pretty good horse to have. Like, he's got such a great cruising speed. Like Mark, you're saying that he can kind of give himself an opportunity in any race, unless it's one turn, apparently. One turn, and that horse just doesn't want to run.
Yeah. Yeah. The more I think about it, we talk about the Whitney now and him going up to Saratoga. He's kind of like a Liam's Map in a little bit of a way, too. He looks like Liam's Map, too. He just goes to the front, and you got to go catch him. And could Maxfield play that honor code role? I mean, that's going to be a really fascinating Whitney if that's how it sets up, right? And there's some other horses that are going to that aren't terrible either. So it's not like it's going to be just a 2-horse race. Hey, it's good to be Brad Cox. You got a lot of options. He's a really good horse. He's already won the Pegasus World Cup. So, I mean, it's all gravy for Nick's Go as far as since he's been with Brad Cox, he's been pretty darn good.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's for a horse that I think you and I both, and probably most people listening, would say before he was with Brad, that gap. But you're kind of like, if he goes away into the sunset, we don't care. We're not going to talk about him again. You know what I mean? Like, he was a nothing horse. He was nothing, And so for that, to get from that kind of horse to what he is now, is quite remarkable, really.
Yep.
I would never have saw that coming from, even whenever he got with Brad Cox, you still kind of think, well, how good is he? How good can Brad be?
Yeah.
But here we are talking about where he should run. All right, let's get to today's show. We're going to preview the $1 million Belmont Derby Invitational Stakes and the $700K Belmont Oaks Invitational Stakes at Belmont Park this weekend. Some really good turf racing with, sounds like it's going to be a lot of rain as well. The dudes, we're also going to rapid fire select some of the remaining stakes action this weekend at Belmont and Delaware Park. Let's go.
We got a visitor. You can tell she hasn't seen me in a couple of days. She's
yeah. Did you guys see Millie walking around down here a second ago?
Yeah, I did. Just follow me around.
She misses you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, and I think just my final thought on Nick's Go is why I like him. He's just because anytime he enters a race, no matter, I feel like, if it's a 2-mile race or if it's a 6 furlong race, it's like you kind of have a pause because he's got that talent of just that high cruising. He just goes, and it's like you got to run him down, and he's got enough speed, or you at least think for a second maybe he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. Yeah, I think Mark, did you say something about Del Mar? Yeah, this point. Nick's Go has that high cruising speed. Del Mar 10 furlongs. I mean, Del Mar speed really holds, So I think that's a really good point as well. Oh, I wanted to address this one real quick. Has anyone seen Idol? Idol is pointing for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Like meaning he's going to train up to the Breeders' Cup Classic.
That's always a great.
So Nick, I liked Idol in that Santa Anita handicap or big cap. I thought he looked good, but not a good sign that we're going to train up to that to the Breeders' Cup Classic off of that race in April. So
the old big cap to classic angle. That's always a solid one. So
sure, yeah,
works every time, right?
Yeah.
Was it 90% or 80% of the time? It works every time, whatever it is. All right, we're gonna start with the Belmont Oaks. Interesting. You got some Euros coming in, and obviously there's call for some rain on Friday. Everyone's freaking out about the rain, so if it is soft, it obviously creates some opportunity. I know. I cannot wait to get to our weatherman Halterman about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Idol's not. He didn't win a Breeders' Cup win in your end, but unless it overdraws, he would probably draw into the field. The Classic usually does not get like a full field, so he'll be in. I highly doubt the horse is actually going to run in it, though.
Anytime there you get a pointing to, and if the race is like 5 months out or whatever, you're like, it's like, yeah, I'll see. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, it's like with King Guillermo.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like King Guillermo all over again. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. I have a feeling don't plan on seeing Idol at Del Mar when we go. So
no,
but it's unfortunate because, like you said, do what?
Maybe he's a lead pony by then.
He might be there. Yeah, he just walking out Maxfield. He's like, hey, you remember when I beat your ass? Like, yeah, but look where you're at now, dude. He's like, oh, fuck you. All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Belmont Park on Saturday. We got 2 big-time turf racing to talk about, the Belmont Oaks and the Belmont Derby. Race 7 will kick things off. The Belmont Oaks Invitational Stakes, Grade 1, we're $700K. This is, again, mile and quarter. We're both going to be a mile and quarter on the turf. You've got the it's an invitational for 3-year-olds and up. Phillies 3-year-olds and up. It's a fun one, or 3-year-olds. I'm sorry, and it's a fun one every year because they've turned this race into like the turf series that as far as for 3-year-olds go, for those horses that maybe aren't the type of dirt for the Oaks and Derby and Triple Crown. You got these horses that of course run from here and then run a Saratoga as well. So when you bring purses like this, $700K, you bring the Euros as well. So you got number 5, Santa Barbara for Aiden O'Brien. You got Euros in both races. This horse is even money. We got 2 Aiden O'Brien horses, heavy favorites in each one. Aiden O'Brien, Ryan Moore, even money. Seems like a tough one to beat, especially considering, and I'll say it, I'll let you go, but the weather seems like it might be rainy.
Yeah, there's no doubt you're going to get a soft turf course here. The weather for tomorrow being Friday, as we record this on Thursday, is not good, right? So even if it kind of stops and we get, a clearer day on Saturday, which who knows what's going to happen, it's still going to be a pretty soft course. I don't foresee these 2 races coming off the turf. If they run 2 races and that's it, it will be these 2 on the turf. So I do think they'll try to run them. Listen, I'm with you. I think the Euros have a big advantage with how this turf course is going to play. And I went right to Santa Barbara, the 5. I think she's a little better than our horses and the rest of them coming in. On debut, won over a soft turf course. And then last time out, I thought ran a race that just looked to be a little bit better visually than what I've seen out of the other ones, in here. So I think Santa Barbara's got everything you're going to want. Aiden O'Brien obviously trains. Ryan Moore comes in to ride. That's obviously a pretty good sign that Ryan Moore says, you know what, I think this horse is good enough that I need to ride her in this big one here and come overseas for him to the United States. 13-day layoff. That's the thing that some people may pause on, but Aiden O'Brien runs his horses back quick. He's done this before, coming over here and won a race off like a week layoff. So Santa Barbara for me.
Yeah. By the way, I was just checking out the weather in Belmont, New York, and they're in a tropical storm warning currently. So
yep.
It might be kind of rainy. I don't know. Saturday looks like it might be sunny. Like the weather might be okay Saturday. So I'd be surprised if they move the race or anything. But I just think it's going to be a very soft, and I would imagine, no racing on turf for the next, full Friday. Just because to keep the turf course good. But no, I'm with you. I probably would have picked this horse anyways, whether, regardless of the rain situation. But this horse just seems like a standout to me when it comes to, 3 straight Group 1 races this horse has been running in. Granted, the weird thing about this horse is that, she's still eligible for like an allowance type race. She's just she won her maiden and they went straight to the Guinness and then they back 3 straight Group 1 races raid. So you can tell what they thought of the horse or what they think of the horse. And now here we go to a Grade 1 race overseas for them. So obviously, and mind you, this horse came out of that maiden race as a favorite in the Guinness. Okay, then the horse is a favorite again, even though the horse gets pounded in this race and then comes back and nearly wins. It's like this horse has been running against really good horses overseas, obviously much higher level of racing than a lot of our horses have seen. So to me, I Plum Ali, obviously the Plum Ali Conlima, that was kind of, obviously they, going at it again here, Wonder again where Conlima won. I don't see those 2 horses really sniffing this Euro horse here.
Yeah. I think one big factor we're kind of leaving out is there's only 2 horses in the race that have had a run at a mile and a quarter. She obviously is one of them. She's won a mile and a half, and then the other one is Higher Truth. And I think Nick, was that you? Yeah, it was. He likes Higher Truth, and same thing. 2 races at a mile and a quarter, won them both, won them over this track. I kind of like that, and 12-1 is what you're getting on that Chad Brown horse. Doesn't maybe have the class of some of these other ones, but there's no question the horse can get the distance. I think that's a big factor when you look at a field and it's like some of these other ones, I'm not sure they're really wanting to go that far, where we know Aiden's can and we know Chad's can. And oh, by the way, Aiden O'Brien, Chad Brown on the turf, and both their horses are the 2 that have proven they can go a mile and a quarter. Pretty good combination there. So
yeah. Look at that breeding on the 3 too. Galileo. I mean, this horse has not been familiar with a soft track yet. Hasn't been racing overseas to kind of have that familiarity. But look how the horse is bred to be a Euro runner.
I'm totally for playing. I mean, I would maybe play the exacta box 3-5. Seriously, because I think you're totally right about the breeding, the connections, everything. And I think if you're going to play the 5. Like, you don't want to play an exacta box 5-7 with a 7-2 shot, or a 5-1 even with the 5-1. You want the value horse to throw in there, and the 3 definitely provides that.
Another horse that's interesting is the 2, Serona, coming in from overseas as well. Another Euro. This was interesting because I saw a PR today from Naira about how this horse is switching to staying overseas, staying here in America, I should say, following this race and going to the Chad Brown barn. So there you go, another, Chad Brown Euro horse. And I thought it was interesting. I mean, it's obviously a good sign. This horse probably will be in some big races this summer and fall. This is where, they've decided to go from the Euro to Chad Brown. That's obviously usually a really good angle. But it's interesting because a lot of times you see with Chad Brown in that situation, like this will be his first start with Chad Brown. So, or she will, so they're waiting to run, join his barn after the race. I think she's interesting just from she like, again, the Euro standpoint, ran this distance one time at this distance, finished a really good second in the Group 1 race on a soft surface. So to me, this horse is interesting because the way she's kind of changed tactics, hit back and forth. She's got a shot to be on the lead here, and that might make things a little bit interesting. Distance wise, doesn't seem like an issue. So the 2 is interesting at 12-1. The 3 is interesting at 12-1, and obviously the favorite I like playing, a 5-2-3 exacta, like a wheel.
Yeah, I'm interested in Serona as well. I think leaving her here means we're going to see her, Saratoga Oaks, and then back for the last leg of it at Belmont in the fall. And I think it's a horse that's going to excel over here. 2 races back, Group 1 race, soft turf, Longchamp, second by a head. So I'm with you. I think the 2 is another one you're going to put on a ticket. At worst, you're going to put her underneath. But again, you're taking a price, and I think that's the key. If you're going to play Santa Barbara, you need prices, and I think those 2. I think we see this race very similar. I think that one makes total sense as well.
Athena, that's the horse you were referring to earlier.
Yes.
Won this race, exact race for Aidan O'Brien off of 6 days. 6 days on the layoff. Ran Juddmonte Group 1 race, finished 3rd on July 1st. That was 2018, and July 7th won the Belmont Oaks. So obviously, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe it was Aidan O'Brien's first and only win in this race as well. So obviously he knows a thing or two about winning the race, as he did it recently, knows a thing or two about, it's almost like probably followed the blueprint, right, of Athena to this, in terms of getting this horse to run. So to me, there's no concern whatsoever with her in this race. We'll go. We can go. Is that you want anything more you want to talk about this? Because I would say I tended to lean a little more heavy on confidence wise on this Euro versus the other Euro in the next race. For Aidan O'Brien, same barn. So we'll just move over to race 9. That's the Belmont Derby Invitational Stakes. And just real quick, we both are on number 5, Santa Barbara, in the Belmont Oaks. Race 9, it's a Belmont Derby Group 1 with $1 million for 3-year-olds, of course, going a mile and a quarter on the turf, field of 9 in this one, and 7-5 on the Aidan O'Brien Ryan Moore angle as well. Number 2, let's see if I can say this, Bolshie Ballet. I don't know. I'm going to guess it's Ballet. Bolshie Ballet. Either way, 7-5. Another heavy favorite. Hard Love at 5-2, 9-2, and De Jour now with Belmont, not Bob Baffert. Gets Flavien Prat there to ride. This is another one, that you're kind of like, okay, if you're not going to play, to me, 7-5 is low. Obviously, I still think this horse is going to be my top pick to win the race, just because, again, it's hard to go against. 9-2 on De Jour. Let's talk about that horse for a second. This is a horse that made us a lot of money last time out. No longer with Bob Baffert, with Belmont. 9-2 is very playable on this horse, who's been a very, very probably the best turf horse, 3-year-old turf horse that we have in the United States.
I don't think there's any probably about it. Up to this point, he has been. The problem is what you just mentioned, away from Bob Baffert now. That's obviously a big issue. But Belmont, very good trainer, but it's just like, well, did De Jour have a little extra now? Does he not? I'm going to look at a horse named Following C, okay, who transferred to Todd Pletcher's barn after being with Baffert, looked like a monster with Baffert, transferred to Pletcher, was a monster again. So I think De Jour is going to be my play. I came into it thinking, no, probably not, but I'm kind of with you. 9-2, if you can get that, that's worth it to me, because all of a sudden if Baffert's here and none of that ever happened, the horse is probably the favorite or second choice at least, and it's 2-1. I kind of think De Jour at 9-2 makes sense. I put De Jour on top here. I thought his race in the American turf was better than anything I'd seen from a 3-year-old turf horse all year. So I'm definitely high on Du Jour. I'm very excited to see Sainthood finally get on the turf as well. And he's 10-1 here. I like that price for him. They've tried to put him on the turf last time out in the Pennine Ridge. He got rained off. Hopefully, unless it is a complete monsoon, he will be running on the turf here. I like Sainthood at 10-1 too. So I like a couple of prices here with Du Jour and Sainthood. I'm kind of with you. I think you got to throw the favorite in there. You're not going to leave Aidan O'Brien off. I'm with you, though. I think 7-5 is a bit short. I don't know if he'll actually be that price, but if he is, I think it's a bit short.
It's not often. I mean, I'd say it happens, right, in these situations. But I would say it's a very, very rare occurrence that you see a horse enter a group. Let's put it this way. You see a horse enter a grade 1 race off of a 17-length loss as the favorite. That seems like that's probably never happened. Yeah, as a 7-5 favorite, even, but anything but sub 2-1, like I would venture to say that's happened very, very few times. A 17-length loss into a grade 1 7-5 favorite. So that's where I'm at with the horse. Do I think this horse has got a fantastic shot of winning? Yes. If you said who are you picking to win the race, it's the 2, because obviously this horse is. You scratch out, which is very handy to do, right? You scratch out the last effort. This horse was like making the move up. The you know what I mean? Like this horse was like going to be the big a Galileo horse. Huge kind of ownership, and obviously Aidan, been running all the right races and kind of getting better and better. Then you kind of was a favorite in that Group 1, that Kazoo Derby at Epsom, and then it's just not good at all. So this horse has been the favorite in most, in I think 4 of the 6 starts of this horse's career. So could the horse win and win impressively? Yeah, and probably should, to be honest. But there's plenty of opportunities out there in terms of trying to make money in this race. So 2 is my pick. Sainthood is super scary to me, just because you don't think like that. This is a massive step up, and it is, but Todd Pletcher's a pretty damn good trainer. I've told you, I think he's the best trainer of all time, because he can just win with any kind of horse. And we saw what he did with that damn Giselle horse. And that should be permanently ingrained in everyone's minds that this guy knows how to enter horses and knows that when a horse is doing well. Sainthood, to me, gets him on the turf, could be dangerous. Du Jour, if his horse sits or anywhere near 9-2, even though you do have the Baffert to Maud Engle, you never know. But I'm honestly more concerned. Maybe you're not, the distance with this horse than I am. Distance / just this horse has been running, Santa Anita, and then got a fast track it or firm track it. How is this horse going to handle here? In this situation, seems like a lot trainer switch, obviously. So I get it. 9-2 is playable. I think that those are my 3 horses that I'm going to play hard. Du Jour, Sainthood, and the 2 the favorite there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's always a big question mark how a horse that's been running on just firm turf, and not even a drop of rain, and now is going to be in this situation. So there's
a lot of things, like just a lot of variables that are being added. Not that the horse doesn't care, right? But right. New trainer, going longer than ever. Coming to Belmont for the first time ever, most likely a very soft surface for the first time ever. So there's a lot of step up in class easily for the first time ever. So there's just a lot of those unknowns for Du Jour that you wonder, how that's going to translate into this kind of race.
Yeah, for sure. One question we had, do you guys think Hard Love will hold as a second choice? Nick says he feels like that horse will not hold as a second choice. Jonathan Thomas won this race with Catholic Boy, so I think people will remember that and have confidence in him. Also, Hard Love beat older horses last time out. I know it was just an allowance race, but he beat older horses. I think people will look at that and say, yeah, I think that horse is pretty decent. I don't know. I think it's a good question. I think it's possible, honestly. We'll see. Yeah, that horse has been really good. Won on the 2021 debut, I should say, won a stakes at Aqueduct. Kind of moved up and ran even a bigger race next time out. So did you look at Hard Love? I mean, I agree that 5-2 might be a little short, but
yeah, I hated the price. So, but to me, this horse has proven. Obviously, that was an older situation last time, which was nice. But this horse has proven to run off of Lasix. Okay, obviously won at Belmont, like you said, has won at Belmont twice. Frankly, this is obviously a step up. But I mean, I would like to see somewhere in that 9-2. 4 or 5 9-2 range. That would be more appealing to me than 5-2. So, but the problem is to that question is if that's gonna who's good is De Jour? I mean, is the 9-2 and someone's gonna have to move? Is it De Jour and Sainthood? Like Sainthood goes to like 5-1, and De Jour's like 5-2, and Hard Love's like 7-2 or 4 somewhere in that ballpark. Like, is that more likely? You think it's gonna happen?
I think it's possible. The problem is I don't know how Aiden's horse is going to get bad. Like in the Oaks, I've got a really good idea. Santa Barbara will get bad. This one doesn't look like a horse to me that will be 7-5 at post. And so then if that horse doesn't get bet that hard, then all of a sudden there could be a few that are lower. Because, I mean, that's a pretty heavy amount of money that the two is going to have to take to be 7-5 here.
It could also be depending on what happens with Santa Barbara. If she goes out and doesn't run well, you kind of want that. But if she goes the opposite end, if she goes out and is awesome, ultra impressive, then you're kind of like, well, shit, Aiden's gonna come. He brought in two monsters, and here we go again. So that horse might be, I think, 9-5, 8-5. I'd be surprised if it's anything higher than 2-1.
No, you're probably right. And you're right. If Santa Barbara wins by 6, the two horse in this race might be 4-5. And then all of a sudden we got value on anybody else. So,
who's your top pick of the race? De Jour?
Oh, I'm going number 5, De Jour. I'm not going to get away from him. I've done well with him the last 2 times, and we'll give him another shot here. I'm not overly worried about the trainer switch, and that may be a dumb statement, but I'll take De Jour again.
Maybe I'll wait to ask, as far as get an answer at least. What if he doesn't run well? Is it kind of like it's over? In terms of any horses with Baffert, it's like you just kind of have to just forget about it until because you have taken the stance. So have I. You're not gonna to rank horses and whatnot trained by Baffert or anything until proven otherwise. Like Gamine, for instance, like you're not like her resume was blank. Until this last race, until it's like, are you gonna kind of do that with De Jour?
Yeah, I think that's fair to do. But like I said, I brought up Following Sea, a horse that was really good with Baffert, and then went to Pletcher and was still really good. I think we kind of talk about that when Service and Navarro lost all their horses, and we were like, well, let's see if they're any good. And then it's a horse like Frenzy Fire, who was with Service, and now he's with Green, and he's still a really good horse. I know he lost last weekend, but that doesn't matter. He's ran very well without him. Sometimes a horse is just good. And I think those guys can take him just to that elite level because they're already really good, and then they do things they shouldn't do and make them just unbelievable. But De Jour, I think he's really good. So the other problem with this, like Following Sea was on a fast track at the distance he knew he ran at. So if he ran badly or poorly, you could say, well, it's because he's away from Baffert. There's so many different factors here. You're not going to have a definitive answer. If De Jour runs poorly here, I wouldn't just toss him down the drain. Like, he's going to have a lot of built-in excuses other than the Baffert, factor.
Yeah, the horse has won 3 in a row, has multiple links, and all those 1.5 in the last one, but multiple links in the previous others. Group 2, grade 2 winner, doing everything right. It's hard to kind of sit here and be like, well, I'm going to take a wait and see approach. So I definitely understand why you're still on the horse. And like I said, I'm using the horse as well. You're on number 5, De Jour as your top pick. I went with number 2, and I'm going to butcher the name yet again, Bulashi Ballet. Ballet. I'm gonna totally, once I'm editing this tonight, I'm gonna find the real pronounce it in it, and I'm gonna just every time I butcher the name, I'm just gonna play it right after it.
I like it.
My gut says it's Balashi Ballot, but
surely not Ballot.
Unless Balashi is like some sort of dumb ballet term or something. Oh, it's a theater, Balashi Theater in Moscow, Russia. So there you go. It's definitely ballet. It's definitely ballet. All right, I got it right then. All right. Let's do some rapid fire. What do you say? We got 3 to talk about. We're going to do the victory ride at Belmont. Then the two of them we're going to do at Delaware. Get the Delaware handicap. Oh, Bonnie South. Can she get it done? Oh, Bonnie.
The world is waiting.
Yeah. You know it's a bad race when Bonnie South is like 7-5 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Time for rapid fire, presented by the inside track to the 2021 Haskell Stakes. That's right. The Haskell Stakes is not this weekend. It's next weekend. But our Haskell Stakes wagering guide will be available for pre-sale now, really. Hopefully when you're listening to this, it's for sale Friday, July 9th. That's today. If you're listening to us live tomorrow, it will be available for pre-sale. It's all inclusive wagering guide. So the 2021 Haskell Stakes features a depth analysis of all 6 stakes on the card that day, Saturday. What is that? July 17th, I believe, including the $1 million TVG.com Haskell Stakes. But guess what? It's Saratoga opening weekend. So we're going to have Saratoga on there as well. That guide will also feature analysis of the 500K Diana and the Sanford. So we got 2 bonus races. So 8 stakes. Obviously, you'll have everything from the undercard at Monmouth Park on there as well. So how to play the entire Monmouth card, including all those stakes and some Saratoga action. We talked about what to do that weekend. Obviously the Haskell, it's like we got to do the Haskell because the Haskell's shaping up to be a really, really good race with good horses, that are pointing. Mandaloon, obviously, Hot Rod Charlie. Those are the two kind of headliners there, but and obviously this should be. But Saratoga, we're like, shit, we got to do Saratoga. You can't have Saratoga running and not talk about it. So we'll have that as well. So 8 stakes on that. It's going to be a really good guide. Make sure you go to racejuice.com on the products page to go ahead and get that pre-sale. So that way when it's available, it's just in your dashboard and it's ready to go. All right, let's kick things off. Let's stay at Belmont Park, but we're going to the race right in between the Oaks and the Derby. Race 8, the Victory Ride Stakes, grade 3 with 150. For fillies, 3-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs. Field of 8 lines up for this one. 2-1 on Australasia. This horse has never lost for Brad Cox. And I know at one point you had told me, like, this horse just is, Louisiana bred is okay, not great. The waters keep getting deeper. This is not necessarily super deep waters for this horse, but do you trust this horse enough to pick?
I do, but I didn't pick her. I mean, I definitely think if you're going to pick her, you should have confidence by now. She's won enough. I went with the horse just 1 to her inside, and I did it basically because I just think the price is too good here. I went with number 6, Red Ghost on top, 10-1 on the morning line. Last time out, won the Miss Preakness Stakes. Johnny V has rode this horse both races this year. She's won them both. He's back on again for the 3rd straight time. And, the horse by Ghost Sapper, pretty good sire when it comes to off tracks. And I think that's what we're going to have here. I'm going to give Red Ghost, the 6 horse, a shot. I like that 10-1 price. I think she's can kind of stalk the pace on the outside. I think Johnny V will put her in a good spot, and I think she's going to have a shot to run them all, or not to run them all down, but to run down a couple that are ahead of her and then hold off the rest. Yeah,
I like that you picked her because I was on the fence between I wanted to take a price here because I'm with you. I think Australia, if she wins, it's not shocking. The race kind of sets up well for her as well. But I don't know. I mean, to me, she's not great, and she obviously hasn't been running in great races. This is definitely deeper waters, so to speak. I went with the horse just to the inside of the 6, but I like your 6 as well. I went with number 5, Super Sensational at 8-1. So you and I are both going with prices. Listen, I get this horse wasn't awesome in the 8 bells, but look, I mean, this horse was finished 4th, only beaten 5, but obligatory, day at the office, make mischief. I mean, pretty good horses there. And then this horse finished 3rd in the Fairground Oaks, going longer, but cutting back. But good horses that day with Travel Calm. I understand Travel Calm, Clarier necessarily aren't that great now, but this horse has ran good races, especially going shorter. I like the fact that you get Pratt on board. For me, a horse that hasn't been seen since the end of April, showing up in a race like this, you get Pratt. That tells you a lot. I think it tells you a lot too about your 6 that John Velasquez, who was on the horse, is now with Wesley Ward and on the horse he rode prior as well. So it should tell you, as far as how he likes the 6. But for me, Super Sensational, I think the race sets up. You could see her making a little bit of run, and if that track, I'm kind of playing. This horse has never been on an off track, but I'm kind of just playing if the race is, which I imagine it is. It's you got the Curlin sire on that end, and you got to think the horse might do okay on an off track. So I went with number 5, Super Sensational. Yeah, Nick, I'm with you. That was the other thing. Look at those works, 2 straight bullets. This horse went 173 and 47 flat, and then going 4 furlongs and went 5 and 58 and 4/5. So yeah, this horse was moving on both those works. So you got to think, and you get the likes of Pratt. I mean, the horse is going to have to prove it. That's why you're getting 8-1.
Yep. No, Mark Casse, he's a fantastic trainer. I definitely could see it. I think it's one you got to put on a ticket for sure.
There you go. It's Bowl Shy, or Bowl and then Soy with an Shoy. Bolshoi. There you go. Bolshoi Ballet. Yeah. Bolshi. I like Bolshi better, but whatever. Let's see here. Let's go to Delaware. Dick Memorial. That's Halterman's favorite race of the year. Let's go to the Dick Memorial. It's sponsored by the Magic Mike Show. All right. Let's see here.
Could also be sponsored by Ricky's Rocket.
Oh, shit. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go to Delaware Park now on Saturday for race 5, the Dick Memorial, co-sponsored by Ricky's Rockets and the Magic Mike Show. It's a grade 3 with 150 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, going 1 3/8 miles of the turf. It's the Robert G. Dick Memorial, just to be clear there. It's a field of 9 lines up for this one. 5-2 on Michelin. Is your favorite. Anytime you have a 5-2 shot as a favorite, you know that the field is wide open, and this one looks no different. Blame Debbie at 9-2, 6-1 on Tipple City Terror, 7-2 on Delica, 8-1 on La Dragnata. What do you think of this field?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna regret this, but I never can really get this horse right. But I went number 5, Tipple City Terror on top. I just see a ton of pace lined up here. And I think this is the best closer in the race. Horse won last time out at Churchill Downs in a pretty tough stakes race, coming from 16, 17 lengths off of it. I just look at this horse. She's faced some really nice ones. 3 races back, got beat by Summer and Saratoga, who came back to win a race at the Indiana Grand yesterday, by the way, and looked pretty good doing it. I think if the pace sets up, this is the one you want. I think Temple City Terror comes flying late and gets the job done. And I like the price of 6-1 as well.
Well, listen, I might be regretting it as well if this horse wins, because I had Tipple City Terror as my pick, and I didn't feel good about it. I ended up changing it to the 9 La Dragontea. Clement on the turf. This horse on debut for Clement, going a mile and a quarter was really good. You had Rosario on board there. Rosario comes back in another allowance race at Belmont, and the horse just had trouble, just a lot of trouble the whole way. Had trouble late in the race. Just didn't have a really big chance to run late in the race. So comes here, you got a chance. You do get Trevor McCarthy to ride with Rosario, obviously staying at Belmont. But to me, this is a horse that kind of gets a pass for that next race after a really good debut in the United States. So to me, at 8-1, there's a little bit of value there for a horse that has been lower odds in the previous races. So I'm gonna take a shot with the 9 at 8-1. I hope I don't regret switching from Typical City Terror. Yeah, honestly, Nick, that's a concern for me as well. It's like it used to be it flows on, you're like, yeah, hell yeah, you get that angle, and now you're like, oh, I don't know. Like, what kind of ride am I gonna get off this one?
No comment. I'm not going down that road tonight. It's too late. I'm not disagreeing, by the way. That's not me disagreeing.
That's agreeing too much. Yeah, I get it.
I've been mad at him a lot lately.
Every time I look at the group text lately, it's Flo, like that bastard Flo. Every time.
I don't know what he was doing yesterday at Indiana Grand on a couple ones. I was like, I don't know what you're doing.
Just he's in a funk, man. It's just I don't know any way to describe it. He just there's no momentum with him. It's not like he's just dead in the water. And there's races where you're like, damn, that was a good ride. That was a great ride, like that. And then there's times where you're just like, what was the decision there? What was the thought? So it's been very frustrating to follow.
And he's one of the most consistent horses or consistent jockeys in the country until this year, too. That's what makes it puzzling. Like, I get it. Like, a lot of these guys, you kind of know what you're getting. With him, you always kind of think, okay, he'll put him in a position to win. But, boy, this year, TD Dance up at Canterbury in the Mystic Lake, that was just like, holy hell. I cannot believe you got that horse beat. Like, I cannot believe it.
Yeah, you were not happy about that.
Oh my God, that was one of the. He might be the bell curve of the Midwest. He didn't used to be, but yeah, and then he'll freaking beat Some Like It Hot Brown with set piece and just weave in and out, and
Yeah, I know. And you're like, damn, that was a great ride. Where the hell's that been? And then as soon as you count, he's the bell curve. I think that's.
Even one of the races he won yesterday in Indiana Grand, the whole race, I'm like, what are you doing? So I don't know.
We need to have him on the show.
Huh?
It sounds like we need to have him on the show.
Yeah. It was with the Matera. It was the 9th race, and the horse had more speed than everybody in the race, and he kept her in 3rd. Now she won the race and still looked pretty decent, but it's just like I don't know why you did that. But hey, I don't ride him, so I'm 1,000% sure if I was a jockey, I would be 1,000,000% worse than the worst jockey. So
you might also be dead. That's also a factor.
And dead. There's no also about it. Would be dead because I would fall off
every time. Like it never fails, and I'll just be on. It's everybody, but a lot of times it's in my Tinder conversations. It's like when you ask what you do or whatever, and it's like, oh, so you ride horses? You're like, no, actually I do not. And not only do I not ride horses, I have no I don't intend to ever ride a horse. Like no thanks. It's never, that always comes up when somebody's like, oh yeah, I have a horse racing business or whatever, and like, oh you ride horses, like it's like, No, actually, no. Being around horses like I am in the business, I know I'm actually even more so not going to ride a horse because those fuckers are scary.
Yeah, they're crazy. So.
Like, let me be clear. Like, when we're in the barn, like, I'm good. Like, I'm fine. I know how to handle them now. You got to be, assertive and you're gonna keep hold of them and stuff. Like, that doesn't scare me. But me jumping on one of those, hell no. Like, I've seen how those idiots act in the stalls. There's not a chance. There's a lot of things I would do in life before I rode a horse, like a thoroughbred, anyways.
Correct. Correct.
No way.
No chance. Yeah.
I mean,
give me some old nag that's been out in the field and 30 years old. Sure, I'll ride that one. But
yeah, shit, I don't care. That's like, yeah, you'd ride Lava Man, wouldn't you?
No. I'm talking
like an old for him, huh?
I'm talking like an old paint horse that's just out in the field.
You needed AP Indy when we saw him at the barn that day. That's the kind of horse you need.
Yeah, I would have swung up on AP Indy. He ain't gonna move very fast.
Oh shit. Okay.
But I wouldn't have got up on Toneless.
No shit. No way, dude.
Yeah.
Liam's map. He wasn't there, but just that guy, is an idiot. So.
Yeah. No, he was there. They wouldn't bring him out because he's.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was there, but he wasn't there the next. But no, he was. They wouldn't bring him out because he was a dick. So
yeah,
I'm definitely not jumping on. Not jumping on that idiot. So
no.
Yeah, no thanks. Especially, can you imagine? Like, I just gotta imagine, like, if you're a jockey, I mean, you're like, oh, I'm on a Tappet today. Like, fuck. It's like, really? Especially like a 2-year-old Tappet. You're like, great. Well, today I might die. I'm gonna text my family.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm on the Tappet today. Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. Like, what am I gonna get a better agent? What am I doing here? All right.
Yeah. Tappet 2-year-olds. Good luck. Yeah.
You get paid more for those. All right, let's go to the last one. 3, 2, 1. And finally, let's go to race 9 at Delaware Park, Delaware. Handicapped grade 2 or 400K for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and up, going 1.25 miles. This is a nice little field of 7 with 3-2 as your morning line favorite on number 5, Bonnie South. So I told you earlier, I think earlier in the show, off air, that 3-2 on Bonnie South as a favorite. The field is relatively weak when you're getting 3-2 on Bonnie South. We saw her at a short price, because every horse in the race scratched last time out, but that's not the case still here. Yet she's still 3-2. Are you gonna play her just because you have to?
I don't think you have to, do you? I mean, I don't. I'm gonna go the 6-horse Miss Marissa on top. I Miss Marissa beat Bonnie South and the Black-Eyed Susan back last October. Kind of ran on a sloppy track last time out. Set the pace, faded a little bit, kind of went a little too fast, I think. I think Wheel's right back here. I look at the pedigrees and I look at Bonnie South's being by Munnings. It's like, I don't know if that horse wants a 1.25 miles. And then you look at the running style and it's like, she's going to need to want a 1.25 miles because she's going to have to run late. She has to make up ground late. Give me the horse that's going to be in front of her. So I'm going to go number 6, Miss Marissa, in an upset here. I think she's a little bit tighter this time out, second off the layoff, second time over the track, has the pace advantage over Bonnie South. I guess I would play Bonnie South in second, but I'll try to beat Bonnie with Miss Marissa here at 6-1.
Well, let's just put, to me, I'm on Bonnie South here because, to me, if she can't win here, if she doesn't win here, then she's the ultimate. It could be an allowance, could be a claiming, it could be a Breeders' Cup Grade 1 race. She's gonna finish second or third. It doesn't matter because she should win. Like, she runs a really good second. Honestly, probably one of her best efforts of her career. To Latruska, last out in the Ogden Phipps. So obviously, Latruska, pretty good horse. Granted, that race was, she did beat Shears the Devil. She kept running, but she's the kind of horse that just keeps coming and coming and coming. And I'm with you on the distance. You kind of wonder about that. But the other side, maybe on the dam side with the Tappet, you get some of that distance pedigree, but she she's never like super fast, but she's never slow. She's just kind of grinding. So you kind of think the mile and a quarter might suit her. Brad Cox, you get Flo. We're wondering what we talked about Flo in the last. You don't know what you're going to get out of Flo. It seems like these days, but you got to think this is why he's here, right? It's Flo blow the jock on Brad Cox horse in the big race at Delaware. A good friend of mine, a friend of ours, I won't, kind of said Brad loves to run horses when he can be really short prices and where they're going to win, at short prices. And when he doesn't win at short prices, he kind of scratches his head like, man, I didn't see that coming. And I kind of feel like that's where we're at with Bonnie South. That's why she's here. I feel like kind of got lucky too, because the race came up pretty weak. We've seen better Delaware handicaps. So I'm on number 5, Bonnie South. I don't have a lot. I mean, to me, win or lose or draw, whatever. Like, I'm not like, oh, Bonnie South. That's like the next, like, she's, next time with Latruska, she might have a shot. Like, no. I'm no. I just think it's a factor of distance plus just being the best horse of the race, which is kind of funny to say. But yeah, I'm on number 5, Bonnie South.
It really wasn't that long ago. The Delaware handicap was the race of the year when Blind Luck and Have It a Grace ran in this race. And now it's like, this is a horrible race.
Well, you look at this race, okay? 2020, Dunbar Road, whatever. Elate won it back-to-back years in 19 and 18. Songbird won it in 17. I'm a Chatterbox, whatever, 2016. Yeah. Like you said, Royal Delta won it back-to-back years. Blind Luck. I mean, this is like you said, like this was like, that non-Saratoga race. That was like a highlight, older Fillies and Mares race of the summer every year. And now it's like Bonnie South is 3-2 favorite. I mean, that's pretty much sums it up, right?
Yep. It's a bad field this year.
Like Latruska wasn't pointing to this race. Like, why would she?
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's weird, but kind of. I mean, do you like? So you don't even think she should win? Like, I think she should win. Bonnie South should win.
She should win.
I just don't.
Yeah,
I think you're still mad that she beat She Dares a Devil last time.
I mean, she's going to be 4-5, maybe less.
I get playing against her.
Yeah.
The 6 is the horse I would use if I was, trying to beat her. That she makes a lot of sense having the Delaware angle. Freshener last time, like I said, has the she beat her once, so at least you have that as well. So to me, if you're going to play against her, I like the 6 as well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't have any grand ideas here, but I'll take a shot against the favorite.
The funny thing is if you're betting, however you're betting, if you're singling Bonnie, if you're whatever you're doing, if you need Bonnie to win, it's going to be the most gruesome, painful stretch run to watch of your life because she might win, but you're just the whole way you're just gonna be like, go, like get up, stay, get up, or whatever it is, because she's not going to get to the finish line fast. It's just going to be a matter of if she get there first.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. 3, 2, 1. So the time we have, check us out on racingdudes.com for our free picks and our premium selections on our products page. Click the late Racing Dudes premium button on the menu at racingdudes.com to learn more. Again, to go get that Haskell wagering guide. The pre-sale has begun, about to begin whenever you're listening to this. So you want to go ahead and get your hands on that. It's going to be coverage for all next weekend at Monmouth Park, of course, with the Haskell 6 stakes, 2 more at Saratoga, including the Diana. So all that will be included. It's a great guide. You have it. So you just have it. You check in your dashboard. It'll be right there. And it'll be available for you. So go ahead and get your hands on that pre-sale sometime in the next week. All right. Final thoughts on Magic Mike. They did Belmont Park late pick 4. So obviously go get their take as well on it's obviously going to be a very challenging card. I'm imagining, especially with that late, you got to imagine it's going to be, scratches and I'm sure Saturday morning will be really fun for all of us. Just with scratches and changes and obviously dealing with the weather changes. So stay tuned and make sure you watch them and get their take on the Belmont late pick 4 as well. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, website at racingdudes.com. Final thoughts, Halterman. What you got?
Well, I think most everybody that listens to the show knows that everything gets updated. So if you buy a product, make sure, 20, 30 minutes before the last post or before the first post to refresh your browser. Everything will be updated. If you didn't know that, make sure you're doing that. It's a weekend like now or this weekend. It's just, who knows, starting tomorrow. Hopefully we get lucky and there's some turf racing Saturday and Sunday, but we'll see. I mean, it doesn't look great. But you never know with rain. So, but yeah, make sure you're getting hit the refresh button, get the latest updates on that. Final thoughts. Let's get this weekend over with. I wouldn't say that, but the rain is here, and we have Saratoga and Del Mar next week. So, and the Haskell, which I don't think. Listen, if the Haskell gets Mandaloon, Hot Rod Charlie, and Rombauer, which it is right now, that's who's going. That's one of the best Haskells we've had in a while. So let's get excited about that. I mean, the racing is getting ready to get really, really good.
Well, listen, the way if you have those horses in that race, you have the eventual, let's just say the eventual Kentucky Derby winner. Mm-hmm. You have the Preakness winner, and you have a horse who 99.9% of every Belmont would have won with the effort he put in the Belmont Stakes and lost, but you have those three horses running in the Haskell. That's a legit. I mean, that's what more do you want?
And none of them can use the whip, so it's gonna be. I mean, that's the amazing thing. It's like this great race, and then all this cloud hanging over of there's no whips that can be used here. So it's gonna be pretty wild to watch. I mean, it's going to be wildly entertaining. I would say that. If you've watched the racing at Monmouth, it can be a little bit of a grab bag of fun sometimes.
Mandaloon was pretty good in his return, obviously at Monmouth, and of course Hot Rod, how he comes out of that huge effort, in the Belmont Stakes, which feels like, to me, it's weird. It feels like it was yesterday. The Belmont Stakes does.
Yeah.
So how he comes out of that, and of course, what is Rombauer really? He can, what kind of horse is he? So, it's a great Haskell. It really is. And the United Nations is on the undercard as well, which is a big time stakes race, turf stakes race. So that will be a great race as well. And of course, Saratoga. So yeah, I mean, can we please get, let's hope we get some good racing this weekend. We all love good racing, but I'm ready. Need Saratoga to get here in a bad way. Need Del Mar to get here. Need the Haskell to get here. Someone's attending. He wants to know who has more of a Derby winner in the Haskell, Mandaloon or Max.
I don't know.
I guess
that's a great question.
I mean, even though he killed a bunch of horses, or almost killed a bunch of horses. I mean, Max Security was easily the best horse, that day. But
I go Max.
To me, Mandaloon had. I mean, he's going to win by default, basically. Because, I get it why he's winning. I agree, but he had every chance to pass the horse down the stretch and didn't. So, I'd say Max Security as well. Yeah. But it's this is the best time of the year is because obviously with Saratoga and we find out, so like we talked about with Knicks Go, and you're going to find out with some of these 3-year-olds as they kind of exit their Triple Crown runs and what are they and where are they pointing? Which 3-year-old's going to be going to the Breeders' Cup Classic at this point? Who's going to be going to be a win in your end? Of course, the Haskell being a win in your end. So you're kind of you're really finding out who all these horses are in all these divisions as they kind of, because now we're at that point where it's like, okay, I want to get to the horses of the Classic. I'm working backwards. How do I get there? Starts with the Haskell, whatever it is. So yeah, this is where we're at. These horses are going to, make their final prep, so to speak, into training, for the Haskell, and unless you're idle and you're training up for the Classic. So in that case, they've had their final prep, and that was in March. Yeah. But other than that, these horses are working up towards the Derby or to the Breeders' Cup. So it's a great time of the year. So all right, I'm Jared Welch. Of course, he's Aaron Halterman, and make sure, like he said, I can't stress it enough. good luck this weekend, but check the weather and check for updates and stay don't look at it 2 hours before and be like, hey, I looked and then you guys changed it. It's like, no. And I'm saying this for you, Samich, because I know you're listening. For the love of God, check right before they go off when the weather's shitty. Check, make sure, because we are betting them too, so we want to give the right picks. And if the horse scratched or the race is completely soft or off the turf or whatever, we're gonna probably have changes. So, sorry, we get that all the time. It's so annoying. I had to make sure people understand that frustration, but just check it.
1-9. We're 1-9 to have an email on Sunday that says, you guys are saying you hit something and you didn't have it. And it's like, when did you see you? At 8:30. At 8:30, I printed it off. It's like, well, I don't tell you. And there was 27 scratches on your sheet. You know, it's like, you didn't think to maybe check back? I don't know.
Well, we know how it is. Some of those guys print it off and they turn the computer off. their Dell or their like compact computer they turn off and they just go and they go to the track or the OTB and they never look at it again. The next day they're pissed because you guys are bragging about hitting that and I had the 3 and like, well, the 3 scratched. So anyways, okay, we're it's not like it annoys us, but it does. Right, yeah. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. Thanks, guys. Good luck this weekend.